Today, we're tearing down an official press conference from the Department of War. This thing was held just 13 days into a conflict with Iran, and honestly, it is a masterclass in how to shape a wartime narrative, so let's deconstruct it. Right out of the gate, they hit us with this. The Secretary of War comes out and makes this incredibly powerful claim. He's not just talking about progress, he's declaring a level of military dominance that, in his words, the world has never seen before. This is pure strategic communication. You use strong, absolute language to project total confidence, to intimidate your enemy, and, of course, to reassure everyone back home. So after that bold opening, they immediately moved to back it up. This whole first section is designed to frame the conflict as this unbelievably swift and overwhelming success. And they do it with a barrage of stats and really definitive statements. First things first, let's get our bearings on the timeline. We are only 13 days into this thing, which they've called Operation Epic Fury. You got to keep that number in your head. Just 13 days. The incredible speed of their claimed success is the main thing they want you to walk away with. And here's the first big, flashy number. Over 15,000 enemy targets struck. Now, when they throw a number like that out there, they're not just showing you that they're busy. They're trying to paint a picture of just overwhelming technological and logistical power. The message is pretty simple. We are operating at a scale and a speed that is just completely unmatched. Now look at this. This is how they visualize the impact of those 15,000 strikes. They're claiming a 90% drop in missile volume and a staggering 95% drop in attack drones. These aren't just random numbers, you know? They were chosen very specifically to fight back against any idea that the enemy is resilient. What they're saying is, look, not only are we hitting them really, really hard, we are fundamentally taking away their ability to hit us back. Okay, so let's zoom in on the specifics of the battlefield. The briefing then starts to paint this really stark picture of how Iran's conventional military was being, as they put it, systematically destroyed, both in the air and at sea. And this right here is where the claims get truly absolute. The secretary lays out this before and after picture. Before, just 13 days ago, you had a modern, capable military. And after, well, nothing. No functional air force, no navy, no air defense. It's a statement of total annihilation. Now, whether that's 100% fact or a bit of strategic exaggeration, the message they're sending is one of complete and utter dominance. So after establishing total dominance on the current battlefield, the briefing pivots. It shifts from the now to the long-term strategy, which is all about making sure Iran can't just rebuild its military might after all this is over. And they present their strategy as this really simple two-step process. Step 1, you destroy all the weapons they have right now. Step 2, you destroy their ability to ever build those weapons again. See, it's a strategy that's not just aimed at winning the war today, but at permanently changing the balance of power in the entire region. And the secretary really hammered this point home. He was incredibly specific, claiming that every single company involved in building ballistic missiles was basically gone. And that's a huge part of the narrative they're building. This isn't just about winning a few battles. It's about erasing the enemy's entire military-industrial complex right off the map. So, right in the middle of all these reports of military success and strategic victories, the officials pause. They make a point to address the human side of the conflict, focusing on the sacrifice and the determination of the U.S. forces. And you can feel the tone in the room just shift completely. It becomes very somber. The chairman confirms the tragic loss of a refueling tanker and its crew, but it's really significant that he immediately stresses it was not because of hostile fire. That detail is so important for controlling the narrative. You acknowledge the sacrifice, but you don't give the enemy a victory they can claim. But watch this pivot. It's kind of brilliant from a communications perspective. Right after that somber moment, the chairman immediately pivots to a story of American resolve and incredible innovation. He starts highlighting the successes of the artillery forces, talking about these historic firsts, using brand new missiles, the Army sinking ships. It's a classic tactic. You pair the bad news with a story of overwhelming strength. And it all builds to this one perfect anecdote that just captures the spirit they want to convey. The chairman finishes his part by telling a story about talking to young soldiers on the front line. And when he asked them, "What do you need from leadership?" their only request was simple: "More rounds, sir." All right, so that was the official, carefully crafted narrative. But then the floor opened up to the press. And this is where things get really interesting, because the journalists' tough questions start to reveal the complexities and the challenges hiding just beneath the surface of that story of success. So the first big challenge comes up right away. It's about the Strait of Hormuz, which, as you know, is one of the most critical shipping lanes in the entire world. The question is pretty simple. If the US has total naval superiority, why isn't commercial traffic secured yet? And the secretary's answer is a classic political sidestep. First, he puts all the blame on Iran, calling them the belligerent. Then he uses this military jargon, saying they're in shaping operations. What he's really saying is, trust us, we have a plan, but we're not operating on your timeline. It's an answer that admits there's a problem without actually giving a concrete solution or a deadline. And then, the questions get even tougher. A reporter brings up a deeply controversial incident, a strike on a girls' school that, according to early reports, might have been carried out by the United States. Now listen closely to the response. The official confirms there's a formal investigation happening, and he makes sure to say that the truth matters. But then, at the same time, he draws this really sharp moral line in the sand. He says that unlike Iran, the United States literally never targets civilians. It's a way of setting up this clear moral distinction while the investigation is still going on. Then, finally, the questioning gets to the elephant in the room, Iran's nuclear program. A journalist basically asks if all these military objectives are really enough to stop Iran from getting a nuclear weapon if you don't physically go in and secure their enriched uranium. The secretary's response here is a masterclass in what we call strategic ambiguity. It's all about what he doesn't say. He confirms the main goal is to deny Iran a nuke, sure, but he keeps all options on the table. And by saying the current mission creates an opportunity, he's basically hinting, without ever saying it out loud, that destroying Iran's conventional forces might just make a more direct strike on the nuclear program possible. It's a threat without being a promise. And all of this brings us to the biggest, most important question of all. It's the one that connects all the bombs and the battlefield stats to what actually happens next. What does unconditional surrender even mean? The briefing gave us a very clear plan for a military victory, but it offered no vision for the political reality that comes after. And that's the crucial takeaway here, isn't it? You can win every single battle, but if you don't have a clear political endgame, you haven't won the war. You've just created a new and much more uncertain future.